Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a great show lined up, but first our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Highway 77. Looking like a pretty day. Got about a 30% chance of isolated thunderstorms. High today 86, low 78. Not much movement right there, but not too awfully hot. That's good. Water temperature is at 86 degrees. Let's take a look at our river readings brought to us by Mountain Dew. Take it outside with Mountain Dew. And these hot summer days, those ice cold Mountain Dews are really good. Look at Apalachicola Bluntstown. It's about a flat line right there. We got about a 7.7. Now, it got back up there, but the chart just don't show a whole lot of movement. The Choctaw Caryville is at a 2.3 and a dropping out. And it's just not very high right now, okay? But it's muddy. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking at good tides all week long. High is 9:51 this morning, and it's going out the rest of the day all the way to 9:05 tonight. The marine forecast, southwest at about 12, and then it's becoming variable. Then it becomes west-southwest at about 9. And I talk about that marine forecast on a daily basis because you just got to be aware of it, especially if you're getting offshore a little bit or in a big lake in a small boat. You just got to be aware of what that wind's going to do. And I've got a picture to show you after the break of what someone got a bad situation because of the wind and a wave. So let's take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's get into some pictures. I get, like I say, we talk about the picture we get here. Y'all email me some, you message me some. I pull some off my Facebook page. We get a good look at what's going on here in Florida Panhandle. Fresh daily, with just really good stuff going on all the time. Will Nelson sent this to me. Will Nelson, Bozeman Buck. This boy can fish now. He's come from a long line of family fishermen. I want y'all to look at that. Now, the first thing you say, where'd he come from? Well, I'm going to tell you, he came out of the sand hills. We've talked about the sand hills all spring, how productive they have been. Year in and year out, the sand hills have had some fine bass. But then the next question I had, well, how much did that bass weigh? Well, let's look right here. Will took that thing, got it weighed 12.87. That's a 13-pound bass. Now, some of y'all say, why didn't he release that? Well, let me tell you what. These bass fishermen, they release about 99% of what they catch. Now, if he caught 1,000 fish and released 999, I think he can keep that one. That bass right there needs to be mounted. That bass has spawned for years. It's old enough now. They don't be spawning as much. And congratulations, Will Nelson, on a 13-pound bass out of the sand hills. That a boy. That's a good job. All right, here we go. The 16th annual. You know what's coming up. The first weekend. Mary Lawhorn just sent this to me, first weekend of August. All proceeds, we've talked about it for 15 years now, but look how much money they've donated. $1,125,000 donated in the past 15 years, okay? Guaranteed payout of $20,000. That is still, I don't know if you know much about fishing tournaments, that's incredible. That's the best word I can describe that, to be a part of that. And I want to encourage you to, if you want to go down and fish it, I can tell you where you can stay. I'll tell you where to go fishing. I'll promise you, show you where we won our tournament and where we caught them from. And listen, if you cannot be a part of it, you can do this. They started doing this several years back, and okay, this is a Kingfish Shootout boat raffle. This has become really popular. One thing, they're only going to sell 350 tickets. Each ticket is $100. There's some folks up in Tallahassee pays for this boat, so everything's profit. It is a 2018 Nautic Star, a flats boat, Nautic Star, 18-foot, 90 horsepower Yamaha. That's about the best odds you can get, 1 in 350. And they're going to send me some tickets. I'm buy a couple of tickets. They're only going to send me like 10 tickets because they're going to sell out. These tickets will sell out, and that's it's going to be given away that afternoon. Some lucky, the guy last year won it. He was from Tallahassee. So this is a good deal. Again, all that money is tax deductible. Goes to leukemia research. And they're going to start putting, Barry saying this, they're going to start putting billboards up over there toward Wakulla County And this would be the big billboards there. That looks really good. So we're advertising this end on Panhandle Outdoors. On the other end, they're doing billboards. Okay, how about Eddie Ramos, a 36-inch redfish. Eddie, that's a fine one. Good job. Eddie's a good fisherman. Okay, here this is a leaf. All right, this is on my boat, my little floundering boat I got last year. But I'm keeping it in a second garage I have, and I just wanted to show you. I don't know how the leaf got in the garage, but it did. Okay, but here's the next picture. I picked the leaf up and put it up. But look at the stain a leaf makes. This is why you don't park your boats under trees and all. I just thought that was humorous to me that one leaf made that little stain. Now, you just don't wipe it off. You got to scrub that stuff off. So you can imagine having a bunch of leaves on your boat. So I just wanted to send that to you. I got my Jeep top, hard top for sale. Okay. I'll check this picture out. Okay, that is a boat overturned. We were talking about the tide and water and all that, the blowing. That boat's overturned. All right, here's the story on it. Captain Tim Brock took the picture. A rogue wave got them about 10 miles off the Cape. This was Friday. We had some pretty strong winds this past Friday. 5 people, they got them out. They were closer to other people, and they were able to get them out of the water. But you know, that can go back to it. That can turn into a tragedy. Okay. Let's see. All right. Anyway, just be well aware of what the wind's going to be doing. Okay. Well, let's see this picture here. My buddy Tony Bass, with his sweet daughter Paige, what he wanted to do for Father's Day was take his daughter fishing and a couple of friends. And I didn't get to go on this trip. They're at my beach house, but I had to stay down there and work. And they went fishing. And you can see they went Friday about where that boat overturned. And they didn't catch anything. It was just too rough. The Bill's pump went out and all that. Then it went Saturday, and they caught these. And that's in my backyard there. They got them over there and cleaned them. They went out of Carabel Friday and St. Joe. This was right out of the state parks Saturday. Good job, Tony and Paige and Kenyon. All right, let's see, got a couple more. This is good. We're talking about an aloe plant. We cut it up. This is a good way. This is from a nurse now. You put it got burned. This lady got burned a little bit from frying fish, which is very normal. And what they did, they put aloe plant, they put a big Band-Aid on it and hold it against it. Now, isn't that creative? It's amazing what you can learn on Panhandle Outdoors. And how about my buddy Bob Bilsma? This was his Father's Day. He got his best grouper so far. Caught some scamp, but isn't that a fine grouper? A lot of people went fishing for Father's Day weekend. And good job, Bob. He has some buddies down from Michigan that he hunts with them and they fish with him. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We're talking about tagged fish and all in our triple-tailed video, which we're going to finish it up this segment here. But also all kind of fish being tagged. And one of the things FWC and a group, Gulf Marine Research and all that, are tagging this red snapper, trying to get a handle on red snapper. Well, I got a call last week from Nat Harris, and he said, Winston, I just caught a tagged redfish right out here. And he said, well, what do you do? I said, well, call that number anyway. Nat ended up calling that number. About 5 minutes later, I was traveling from the Cape, and I was on the road. About 5 minutes later, he called me right back. He said, guess what? I said, what? He said, I just won $250 for reporting that tagged red snapper. Now, we're talking about red snapper now, not redfish, red snapper. And that tagged red snapper, he reported it, and it's a 1-800 number because it's on a Saturday, 1-800 number, and it, told him what, he read the number and then said, now I don't know if you get $250 for every tagged red snapper you catch, but Nat's got $250. He's better off today from catching a tagged red snapper. So that's a good deal, Nat. So anyway, pay attention to these tags. They're fascinating because the scientists are studying all of it, the biologists and all about where they're going and how many we have and where they're being caught and water temperature and all kinds. It's really neat. And I was telling Jeff, I'd like to go to that Gulf Marine Research Lab over Ocean Springs and just sit down and see watch them do some of that tagging work and all, to see how they track them and all. But anyway, maybe we'll get to do that when I retire and get some extra time. All right, now let's get to our video. And here's the story on the video. You saw the quality in yesterday's show. You saw the quality of fishing we were doing. And I told Gail when I brought it home, I said, honey, I said, there's a lot of good fishing on here. If we can't get it all in one show, we're just running over. And sure enough, we had enough we got 5 more minutes left in it but the fishing was so good, we're catching so many good quality fish, I didn't want to cut it out. So she did a wonderful job editing it. She stayed at about 1:30 in the morning to get it all done that night. I brought it in, and it's good. So we got 5 more minutes, and I just say most of the time we try to put everything in one show. About 90% of the time we get everything in one show or less. But on a trip like this, you just can't get it all in. So we're gonna watch our last 5 minutes of our triple tail fishing with Chris Gurris. All right, we got Chris hooked up. That's a nice fish. Whoa. Big fish. You need me to get a net?
No, I'll get it. I'm doing the something all the time.
Under the boat. I don't think he wants to come in. Oh man. Daddy do a solo. He's got it. Yes. Good job. That's a nice fish, Chris.
Thank you.
That's what it's about, folks. Triple tail, Apalachicola Bay, Chris Gurris. All right, and another one. This one's a nice one. I didn't think it was that big, but he was that big. All right.
Good fish.
We caught him on that one. There. How big is he?
We got one bigger than him.
So we're gonna tag him. That's 18 inches. 19 inches. 19 inches tagged.
We're about to do it for the release. I'll get cut.
All right. All right. Oh, you got a double header. We caught 2, one apiece at the same time. Tagged. All right. Back-to-back doubles. And those are our last 2 tags, you think?
That's 2 tags.
The last 2 tags. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's pretty.
13-inch fish up.
All right. 13, and that was what, 15 and a half? Oh, wow.
15 and a quarter.
15 and a quarter. All right. There you go. We'll catch them in the next
next time. Okay.
All right, folks, this has been an amazing trip with my buddy Chris Gurris. These are some quality triple tail. Now, we tagged and released, how many, Chris?
21.
We tagged and released 21. We kept these for supper. And I'm gonna tell y'all, we have had a tremendous day of fishing, and I hope you get a chance to go with Chris Gurris, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime trip to do something like this. So we're just really proud. I'm really proud of these fish. 2 of them are Chris and 2 of them are mine. And about to get heavy.
All right.
All right, buddy. Hi, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the end of that and all. That was an exciting time. But before we get to it, let's go and look at our fish and game forecast today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers down in Port St. Joe. They've got a lot of stuff down there, and a lot of folks, their business is really doing well. A lot of folks are still coming. I know they're worried about a storm, not having a lot of people around, but they've got a lot of people coming in there and spending money with them. So that's good news for everyone. It's 3:30. Let's see, 1:31 to 3:31 this morning, and this afternoon 1:57 to 3:57. I want to talk a minute about that video and just the trip in general. You know, as an outdoorsman, let's look at myself, because I can talk more about myself because the things I've done. All my life I loved outdoor stuff, but you know, and right now, if 80 to 90% of the time, I'm going to go fishing in the West Bay or North Bay or Crooked Island or down in St. Joe Bay, and have some great trips there. But every now and then, I just want to do some really special things. Okay, so when I found out Chris was actually being a captain, I mean, I knew he was a captain, but he started sending some pictures and all, and his company is Tide Creek Charters right there. And he started, he's living by himself over there in Panhandle, and he just has this passion for triple tail. So he, not just during the day, but at night he goes home, and all those tags, he starts turning in all those tags and all, and he catches, you know, all the catches. He knows where he caught each one of those fish, and he just has a system that's second to none. And I just don't think there's any better triple tail fisherman anywhere in the Southeast that I know of. So anyway, if you want that, you know, just have these high-level experiences, and you know, I've talked about them before. My tarpon trip to Boca Grande, my tuna trip out there, and I just want to. I've been on those, and I look back at my life, and I've missed out on some too. And for example, I used to have this passion for duck hunting way back in the '60s and '70s, especially, and I always wanted to go to Stuttgart, Arkansas, because that was ground zero of all where duck hunters went. And I kept saying, I'm going to go next year. Had a buddy and said, we'll go next year. Well, one thing came up, then another. Well, I never got to go to Stuttgart, Arkansas, and I don't duck hunt that much anymore, so I probably never will get to go. But that was just one of those, you know, upper level experiences as an outdoorsman I wanted to take. And so I want to urge you, don't put it off. Go ahead and take trips like this. Going red snapper fishing with Billy Archer every year is special, and just doing these kind of trips. But it doesn't take, you know, I still love doing a lot of different things as far as going to the river and all kind of outdoor stuff that we all do here in the Panhandle. That's, you know, that's just special all the time. But, you know, those trips like that, I just want to encourage you to look them up. Hunting the same way, like I said about turkey hunting or getting an elk in Montana, whatever you want to do, start checking them out. Now, you're going to pay some money for these trips and all, but it's well worth it. And I feel very blessed to have been able to last 10 or 15 years do some of these things I didn't think I'd get to do. All right, with that being said, let's get back to the boats. That picture we had earlier of that sunken boat out there. I talked to Tony Bass on this past Friday on his trip, and they got caught in those waves too. No one was expecting the waves to be that big. There were 5-foot waves out there. Now you got a 22, 26-foot boat like that, 5-foot waves. And what happened to these folks, they got hit with a rogue wave. We've talked about rogue waves before. Well, Tony and his daughter and Kenya and his 2 buddies, they got caught out there, and their bilge pump went out. And you know how important that is with the waves slapping over, you start getting that water in there, and they're starting to bail out, but they couldn't keep up with it. Fortunately, Tony is smart enough outdoorsman, he had an extra bilge pump in his cabin up there. He actually got it out of the package, went back there, and in all that weather, and I mean all those waves and all, was able to install a new bilge pump in place of the old one and got it working and helped them out, because they would have been in some trouble too. So as an outdoorsman, as a boatsman, remember if you're going out that kind of weather, have some extra things with you. Have your VHF. Make sure you can talk to people and all, because you can get in some trouble doing that. Okay. So anyway, just have your boat ready for some rough seas and all. Also talked to Scott and Lindsay over the weekend. Let's go to freshwater now. You saw that big sandhill bass we started the show off with. So we're going to end the show with this. Scott loves fishing the Choctaw River system. He's fished it since he was a young man. He knows it very, very well. He's caught all kind of fish in there. Two things he talked about. He's going by himself a lot. I told him he's getting old enough now. He needs to go with somebody. Somebody needs to go with him. But he about got knocked out of the boat, he said, by a 6-foot sturgeon jumping out there, and he said it really scared him. He said he had a swerve from it, and right there, in fact, he got sprayed from some of the water. And you know, we've had accidents, we've had fatalities happen here in Florida from those sturgeon jumping up out of the water. So be careful over there in Choctaw River. There's just a bunch of them over there, more than anywhere around here. There's some in Apalachicola and all, but there's more in Choctaw River than anywhere next to the Suwannee River. And also he said, pass this on too, the Choctaw River is muddy. He didn't have a good day of fishing. He might have just still been shook up from that trip, but with the sturgeon. But he said the Choctaw River system is muddy on the lower end down there from all that rain we had recently. And that's the thing about the Choctaw River. It'll be clear a while, then that mud will come in there and slow things down. So all these little pieces, bits and pieces of information we pass on to you as an outdoorsman. Now, I understand Lake Seminole is doing real good up there on freshwater. Lake Talcum is doing good. And obviously the Sandhill Ponds are doing good. So freshwater is looking really good. So anyway, we're right here in the middle of June. We've got about 2 more weeks of long days in the summer, and then our days are going to start getting shorter. So take advantage of them. We'll have to wrap it up today. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I really enjoyed bringing it to you. Appreciate the viewership. Appreciate the loyalty you have to our sponsors. You do something good today for your fellow man. You have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.